In 2004, I met Terry Flynn and Marilyn Fleming, an extraordinary couple renovating a derelict cottage in the heart of Northumberland.
It's something what I always wanted to do all my life, is do something like this. I know it's a bit of a wreck at the moment. Heads!
Now in their third year of this project, they're about to tackle the most ambitious part of their dream, turning the 16th century farmhouse into the kitchen and heart of their new home.
He likes to think I'm Superwoman, but I'm not. They're bloody slipping off, man, hurry up!
2, 3. Whoa! Terry and Marilyn's build was epic, and when I last saw them, they were still living very much on a building site.
So I've come back to dedicate a whole new 1-hour programme to their exceptional story. Marilyn Fleming and Terry Flynn are both in their 50s and have busy full-time jobs as an accountant and construction engineer. But 2 years ago, this golden age couple took the plunge to make a new life for themselves. It would start with one of the biggest renovation projects I had ever come across.
I mean, what made you take on something like that?
It's got a lot of character, you know, and it's the area as well. I fell in love with it straight away, you know, definitely.
What's the dream for you here?
To get away from all the hustle and bustle, really.
It's going to be a family home, you know, where the family can be here with us and there's enough room for all of us.
The couple threw themselves into their build with total abandon.
Woo! That was cool.
Living in a tiny caravan on site, they got straight to work repairing the 200-year-old farmhouse.
It'll be heavy. Ooh, you bugger! It is. Hand fire. Get it up.
Despite not having any previous experience, Marilyn proved herself a courageous and capable labourer.
It absolutely terrified me because part of the roof was derelict and it was all caved in and you couldn't really see any way of getting up there to get them down. It frightened me. I used to wake up in the night, I had nightmares. I used to wake him up and say, how will we get the roof? And he's saying, it's a doddle, man. We're going.
We're going. We're going.
The couple were determined to restore this house using traditional methods and techniques, doing everything by hand, even though this took a lot longer.
I want to be in, I want to move in. It's just grit, you know, guts and determination, that's what keeps you going.
They even worked through severe weather conditions, experiencing the worst storm to hit the area in over 40 years.
I had 16 ton of sand at the front, and it's washed the whole lot away.
We've got no sand left.
There's no sand left, it's all gone.
All the rainwater falling on the hills at the back, it's coming straight down to your building, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to do a lot of groundwork on the back to protect that.
That's right, yeah.
We've got this mess, we've got everything, but I tell you what, I've never been so happy in my life.
I can't believe how you're still in such good spirits.
Well, I mean, we sat yesterday and we just looked at each other and started laughing, and we said if we didn't, you just crack up, you would cry, you know, you've just got to get on with it.
Terry and Marilyn have 8 grandchildren between them, and part of their dream was to have a house big enough so that everyone could stay.
The kids can come around, they can be here more, they can stay over, there's plenty of room for them.
And you've got no fear of them getting knocked over by traffic. You got your freedom here as well, you know, you've only got the sheep.
But family visits would be few and far between. Until the house was built, Terry and Marilyn would be left working alone.
It is a great wrench. I mean, you know, I really, really miss them.
No.
I try not to show it, I try to hide it, to be honest. And, like, sort of, you know, but I do. I miss the Bens a lot.
When I first met Terry and Marilyn, I thought they were incredibly brave to do such a massive building project in this remote location. And I was worried that they'd also taken on an epic challenge at a time when most people their age would be thinking about retirement. Now, it's been over a year since I last saw them, but knowing how hard these two graft, I'm sure I'm in for a pleasant surprise. What a difference!
Yeah.
What a difference. The last time I was here, they'd barely finished one room. They've now completed 2 bedrooms and a fantastic living room downstairs. But there's one part of the house still missing.
We're about to commence work on the basil.
So the basil's not done yet?
No, we have started, but it is a big job. It's a special job. The basil is special.
Come on, then, let's go and have a look. Attached to the cottage is a 16th century fortified farmhouse called a basil. Terry and Marilyn want to convert this into their kitchen and dining room. But turning this ruin into the heart of their new home is an epic building project all on its own. God, it's like going back in time in here, isn't it? It's a different world. Wow.
To be quite honest, this is what sold me on the property. Because I stood on that ledge up there where the door is, and I looked down here and I said to him, this is my kitchen, I can see it. I can see units there and I can see an auger there and I can see this here, and I think, yes, that's what it's going to be like. I can see it, yes.
And can you still see it now? Is the dream still there? Marilyn must have incredible vision. All I can see is a building ready to collapse. Look at that crack in that wall. I mean, that's frightening.
It's exciting.
I say frightening, you say exciting.
It is. It's amazing.
I can't believe you're taking this on. I mean, most people, when they've got a finished house on the other side of that door, would sit there with a cup of tea and go, oh, bugger the basil.
No.
I'll
Oh,
do it another year.
no.
I'll leave it a year or two and do it then.
No, you've got to carry on.
This
if you
is
stop,
important.
if you stop, you'll never do it.
You'll never continue.
Honestly, you would just say, no.
Rebuilding the medieval basil walls is a gruelling conservation project that will take months of hard work. Terry and Marilyn are the most extraordinary self-builders I've ever come across. But turning this into the heart of their new home has to be their biggest challenge yet. Terry Flynn and Marilyn Fleming have spent the last 2 years renovating a derelict cottage in the heart of Northumberland. Now in their 3rd year, they're embarking on the most ambitious part of their build, creating a spectacular kitchen and dining room in the 16th century basil next door. This is the oldest and best part of the building, isn't it?
It's the most interesting.
There's more history in this one.
Much more history, isn't it?
There really is. There's a lot of nice, beautiful features in here.
You two, you love the history part of buildings anyway. It's one of the
Yes.
reasons why you fell in love with the whole project. With this bit,
Yeah.
super special.
You have to be so gentle. It's one stone at a time.
You're not even just builders. It's like being a sort of medieval stonemason, isn't it? In some ways, like being a master craftsman. You're just slow, very gently, very patiently.
Yeah, each piece.
Just piecing this building back together again, bit by bit by bit.
Next door, people thought we grafted hard, and it was hard work. It's nothing to what this section is.
This couple are passionate about this building's history. What they're doing is taking on the restoration and conservation of what is essentially a poor man's castle. This fortified farmhouse is absolutely unique to this area. You've got to ask yourself why it was built. Well, in the 16th century, the English farmers had to protect their cattle from the Scottish cattle rustlers on the other side of the border. They'd cross over Hadrian's Wall and steal all of the English animals. That's why this building is so strong and so robust. At the end of each day, the farmer would go out into the fields, herd up all of his cattle, and actually bring them inside of the building on the ground floor. Now here where you can see this new window, this used to be a door, and it's incredibly low.
This wasn't the door for humans. This was to literally push the cows and the sheep inside the building to keep them protected and warm. Now you imagine the ground floor of this building being absolutely packed with farm animals. The smells would be unbearable. So openings like this weren't about getting natural light into the building. They were just purely for ventilation. Now what's great about this building is that on the first floor, the farmer would live up there with his family. That is his front door. So at night he'd pull a ladder in and protect himself as well as the animals. This building is purely about protection.
Restoring a medieval ruin is far more challenging than creating a new build from scratch. Just to secure these ancient walls is a massive structural engineering job. Not only this, but because of its remote location, no one will deliver materials to the site itself. Instead, Marilyn and Terry face a 2-mile round trip to bring everything they need back to the house.
I'm going to shift some blocks and some materials from the bottom up to the top, just so we can carry on. It's the first time we've been able to get on for a while. It's a bit bumpy, this bit.
How we're working this, will I get on and you hand them on?
Correct. God, you should be on mastermind, I think.
Nah, shut up.
Working together for 2 years, they've become quite a team.
You're slow for a young girl.
Do me best.
Once a week they make the trip, loading and unloading by hand, all of which slows them down.
Come on then, you're not ready. Well, here I am. You're a slave driver, you.
But getting materials to the site is only the first problem this couple face. As they both have full-time jobs, they can only concentrate on the build during weekends and evenings. Marilyn has become adept at dividing up her roles.
My day job really is all mental. It's mental exhaustion, to be quite honest. Very, very stressful and very tiring mentally. So when we get home at nights and we actually do work on the house, it's very relaxing, believe it or not. You do tend to unwind a little bit because it's physical. It's a different tiredness, and it does tend to de-stress you.
After working an 8-hour day as an accountant, she comes home to start work as a labourer. Her first job is to make a traditional lime mix mortar, which they'll use to repair the stone walls inside. Having already completed one house, Marilyn has become a bit of an expert.
Put this off the moment. I'll just test the mix and see how it is, how it feels. It's just a bit wet. Because of the stones and everything being so big, you've got to have quite a dryish mix when you put it in. Not bone dry, but just a little bit more texture than that than it has.
Hello.
How's your day been?
Not that good.
Not that good?
No.
Oh, a bit like mine then.
Aye.
Well, I've got a mix sorted for you. Don't. I've got some ready there.
Hey, that'll do.
That's too wet now.
It's not, man, it's lovely.
You've got
Do you want to
have,
fight?
I'm telling you.
Do you want to fight?
Listen,
Just get it in the bar.
it's got to be
Just get in the
a
bar.
stiffer mix.
I'll play it.
Oh, well. Well, it's all run out on the floor tomorrow. Be your fault.
It'll be my fault.
This building has stood here for hundreds of years, and over time the foundation stones have shifted, causing the walls to collapse in on themselves.
You see how it's bellied right out and it's moved. So we've got to push it back to get it back in its position.
It's dangerous work. Taking out the wrong stone could bring 20 tons down on top of him. And that's not the only peril he faces.
See, that mix is too soft. It'll just run off.
It'll not run off at all. Too many clock works here.
Just there. You haven't got a joint.
You're a funny one. A bit of a slave driver.
Rebuilding the walls is a massive job, and one that the couple have to keep up night after night.
I tell you what, she's only a little woman, but God, you know, there's a lot of big women wouldn't, a lot of men wouldn't even do what she's done, to be honest with you.
With only tiny sections rebuilt every evening, it's a job that goes on for months. Hopehead Cottage lies in a far-flung and rugged part of Northumberland. When they first bought it, both Marilyn and Terry were worried that their family would find it a difficult place to visit. The last thing they expected was Marilyn's son Pete, together with his wife Jane, son Ryan and daughters Tegan and Amy, moving to the area.
Pete,
Hi.
how you doing, mate? What are you doing in here?
Hi. Cooking, mate.
Grafting hard.
Yeah, hopefully.
So what made you move up here then?
Better quality of life for the kids, better schooling. We actually spent a fair time walking around Whitley Bay on a night time and looking at the kids just hanging around and doing nothing, you know, and getting into trouble. I just didn't want my kids to do that. I wanted a better quality of life for them.
They must love having Grandma's place on the doorstep as well. All that land, that lovely big house.
It's Grandma's place, and we've got a lot of friends. The horse riding and Amy with her ferrets.
Amy with ferrets.
Yeah. Just countryside, it's just unbelievable. It's so much better than being in a town.
And a happy family as well, for the sounds
very
of it.
happy family. Yeah.
Do you think this has made you closer to your mum as well?
I've been closer to my mum in the past 2 years than I ever have been in my life. If we still lived in Whitley Bay, then I really do not think me and my mum would have been in touch. We would have drifted apart. Now it's where family should be. We're there for each other. Just the way it is.
Pete's two girls, Amy and Tegan, have totally fallen for country living.
So what's it like living up here then?
It's nice and yeah, you get a lot of fresh air and everything. You can just go outside and you don't have to see the road.
You don't have to see any roads? That's brilliant, isn't it?
You don't hear any cars going past.
And do you like Grandma's new house?
It's changed loads now.
It's done loads, hasn't it? It looks much better. I mean, it was a wreck before. Now, if Grandma said that you had to go back to Whitley Bay tomorrow, what would you say to her?
I'd say no. I'd pitch a tent and just stay here. I'd live in a tent. I would just stay here. I would live with the sheep if I had to.
And having family around means there's more help to push the build on.
Peter, my son's come along, and he's just going to give Terry a hand to do some of the heavier work.
Watch it. Come up as often as I can. For work commitments and that, it's not as often as I would like, but it's just whenever I can, you know, when I've got a spare few minutes.
Bringing the old Basel back to life has got Marilyn thinking about the future.
I'm looking through some photographs that I want to put in a time capsule to put into the Basel in the wall. Can't show them how it was built originally, but what I can try and do is to show them how we have built it and what we've done to make it into a home. I would imagine if they look at the photographs and things and see the condition of the house when we started, I think just like everyone else has thought, they will probably think the same. We're mad. We're going to put a letter in and just some of the little bits and pieces that, you know, that we can think. What I've written is, my name is Marilyn Fleming and my partner's name is Terry Flynn, and it has taken us 2 years to complete the main house. We are just starting work on the Basel. Terry and I started the renovation in 2004 at the age of 51 years. We're actually going to put it up here in the wall. There's a natural space there which we think it'll just fit in there nicely, and that's where it's going to go.
Autumn turns to winter. Over the long dark nights, Terry and Marilyn continue to work inside the Basel, rebuilding the ancient walls. But the bad weather is slowing things down.
It's been snowing and that, so to be honest, we haven't been able to get on as well as what we should be, because obviously it's all been about 8 degrees below. Couldn't use any mortar because it would just freeze, and we'll just be back to square one again, so we couldn't do much.
Marilyn especially is becoming disheartened with their lack of progress.
You just don't feel as though you're moving on. You don't feel as though there's any change, you're getting anywhere. You're just working and working and working, and there's nothing to see. Just the same wall. Sets you down a little bit after a while. You think you've worked for so many weeks and there's no change.
Every time I come here, I'm just amazed at how remote but tranquil this place can actually be. This is the furthest most point in England before you hit that Scottish border, and I think it's stunningly beautiful. Morning. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Working
yes,
hard
how
as
are
ever.
you?
Hi, Terry, mate. How's things?
All right.
So how's it going? It looks bloody brilliant.
Good.
You've got the floor joists in.
Yeah.
Racing along.
And all this wall looks fantastic, and you've completely rebuilt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a section at a time. You know, just a...
A little bit at a time.
So what's the next job then? What are you doing now?
Well, we're putting in windows. If you want, you can go ahead.
I've put in windows before, but never like this.
There's a bit to knock off that side.
If I chip away straight on that edge.
Yeah, you should get that off.
There isn't a power tool in sight. I love the fact that Terry and Marilyn respect this building so much that they're doing everything by hand, using the simplest tools like a hammer and chisel.
See that bit out there? Oh no, it's not too bad actually.
No, it's not too bad at all. There you go. Right. Spot
Level
on.
as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant, man. Can't get better than that.
They show me upstairs where they've uncovered a piece of the building's history.
See, this is the original chimney breast for the fire that sat here, and then you found that behind, which is like it looks like a sort of an old
like an oven, isn't
brick
it?
oven or something,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of character. There's a lot more character than what it has next door. You're taking bits off and you're finding bits, you know.
But the great thing about this part of the building is it's the oldest part.
That's
It
right.
is.
You know, 16th century.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why you're just finding all these fantastic things, isn't
That's
it?
right, yeah.
Are you starting to feel knackered by all of this?
Very much so.
Oh, yeah.
If I knock myself, I feel it.
Yeah.
Where before I would brush it off.
It's hard. It's getting its toll now, you know what I mean? I'm a bit like her, aches and pains and all.
After 2 years of hard graft, I'm not surprised it's taken its toll, to be honest.
The disadvantage of using traditional techniques to restore this medieval building is that even the smallest job takes time, which means this project still has a long way to go. Terry Flynn and Marilyn Fleming are both in their 50s. 3 years ago, they took the plunge to live together while restoring a 16th century property in the beautiful Northern Pennines. They've been working on turning the old fortified farmhouse into a massive kitchen and dining area. But for the last 6 months, they've spent all their time rebuilding the walls.
Morning. So how's it going in here, Marilyn?
Quite
good.
Quite well, really.
Finished all the repointing.
Yeah,
which is
that.
brilliant. And this, oh, this looks good.
Yeah, we built the piers up.
That's
We
fantastic,
needed.
actually. I mean, this looks like it's been here for hundreds of years. Like a little stonemason.
I think it took that long for Terry to build it.
But it looks fantastic, doesn't it? It's all really in keeping with all the other old stoneware that you've got
Yeah.
around here, really.
Yeah.
And what's it going to be like in here when the family turn up
Oh.
and sit around that dining table
Yeah.
and you're cooking at the Arga Christmas?
Oh, ruckus, I would think. I think it would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, you know, we'll get everybody up. It'll be brilliant. That is the dream. You know, that's what this is. This is the heart of the house. You know, and well, you know, we'll get there eventually. We just have to keep plugging away, plugging away.
While Marilyn dreams of family get-togethers, Terry is content to be leaving city life behind.
Did you ever imagine that you'd live in the countryside in a place like this?
Never. Never ever.
But I say I fell in love with it when I first seen it, like, you know. It's going back to when I was a kid, like, you know what I mean? I used to go out and used to go bird watching and things like that, you know. And then we've got the horses and we've got the animals and we've got the geese and they're all like pets to her, they're all, you know. Yeah. I've seen me out in the middle of the night, you know, trying to find out where they all are because she's allowed to go and find them, you know.
It's going to be a pretty good new life in it when the house is finished.
Yeah, oh, it is a good life. It'll be lovely when it's finished.
After the long cold winter, the weather changes and the couple find they've the perfect opportunity to start work on the roof earlier than anticipated.
I'm pleased the weather's so good today. I think we've been extremely lucky. We thought, well, Easter weekend, normally we have snow, or we have had snow to be quite honest.
Out of the way, please.
This is far too big a job for Terry and Marilyn on their own, so a team has been assembled to speed things up, which includes Marilyn's son, Pete.
We'll call him Fairweather, that's his nickname, because as soon as there's bad weather or there's rain, Pete's down tools and disappears. So I'm really, really pleased about the weather this weekend because Fairweather's here doing some work.
Also helping out today is Pete's son, Ryan. And Marilyn's recruited David from her office.
There you go.
I heard about the work that she was doing here and I offered a few times to come along and give her some help, but she took me up on the offer and I think I'm paying the price now.
Heads!
With the old roof stripped, the troops head down the mile-long track to pick up the timbers needed to support the new roof.
That was brilliant. These here are to make the A-frames, the trusses and the roof. Hopefully the truck will take them. Now, these are seriously heavy.
Each beam weighs 1/4 of a ton, but Marilyn is first in line to heave it onto the van.
If these roll off, you're going to be in bother. Take your time. Your mother's hanging on.
It's like something out of Indiana Jones.
Marilyn might be a grandmother, but she's as tough as any of the men she's with, if not tougher.
I'm hanging on to them here. They're bloody slipping off, man. Hurry up. Well, they're away, they're away, they're away. We should have put the back up.
Can't even move that.
He's a skinny little thing, but he's got a bit of strength behind him.
You're right.
Now you hold them there, it'll get round the corner. Aye?
It's like Britain's strongest man, this.
Whoa, whoa. Hang on, Dave's chucking it back on.
David's desperate to impress the mighty Marilyn.
Go, Peter. This is the bugger. Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
We're on the floor.
But this is dangerous, and sensibly they get a neighbour to tie the load down. With minimal precautions in place, they can carry on.
That's it. Yeah. Well, you want a bit of excitement, Dave?
Yeah. My back's killing it. I actually thought we were going to die at one point there.
Why?
Just all that weight. I thought I never said nothing. No, just kept it to myself.
The following day, the team reassemble for the next Herculean challenge.
You've got 3 bits of trusses to get up. One for the other side, one for this side, and one for the middle.
Right.
Right. So we're going to do that one first.
They have to get heavy timbers from the ground to the top of the basel. Most builders would use a crane to hoist 1/4-ton beams into position, but the location here makes that impossible. Luckily, the sun is shining, so Peter's turned up yet again to give his mum a hand.
You're pulling it in, aye?
Aye.
Without any professional safety equipment, all they're using to get the timbers up to the roof is a thin bit of rope, a tiny pulley, and buckets of brute strength.
3. Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
With all the wood in position, the A-frame is slotted together and tightened. This is exactly how buildings would have been made hundreds of years ago.
Help you pull it.
After 2 days working on the roof, everyone is beginning to feel the strain.
Pull. Yes!
It's up.
Don't let go.
One A-frame is secured, but there's another to fit.
Moving on my lovely point and pull the bits.
With little room to manoeuvre, they have to dismantle sections of the wall that took them months to rebuild.
Bloody hell. God, this is heavy.
It takes all day to put up the trusses.
End of another wonderful day.
Eventually, the team can call it a night.
Terry and I have sort of been on our own for quite some time now, but lo and behold, you know, Robin Hood's men all turned up and, you know, the happy band of helpers, so it was absolutely amazing. We wouldn't have coped on our own, no way. Well, I've got to get this bit out so that I can loosen this piece out once this is away.
Oh, God, look
Slate
at
again, see?
Morning.
Oh, George.
How are you doing?
George.
Look at you two grafting away.
Hello.
It's non-stop, isn't it?
It is.
The roof's off.
Roof's off, yes.
At last.
Yes.
But most people looking at this now would just think this is carnage. It's an absolute wreck. But the amount of work that you've done to get it to this stage, it's just a hurdle every day, isn't it? And then these new timbers that you've put in, I mean, they're absolutely massive.
Yeah.
I like
mean,
the
to
colour.
think that you've lifted those in with your hands, with your own bare hands. So when's this roof going to be finished then, mate?
I think about 3 weeks we should have it done.
3 weeks? That's quick, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to need an extra pair of hands, mate. Do you want a hand with some things?
Yeah, we can
She's
start
gonna-
putting these little things up here.
And how much does this weigh?
Pound or two.
A pound or two.
A couple of bags of sugar. Where we going?
I don't know. You're directing me now, come on. This is mega heavy, honestly. I mean, unbelievably heavy. Just over the top of that scaffold pull, Terry. Whoa, I haven't got it. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hang on. Watch your fingers, George.
You want it in there? Yep. You think on a new house,
Under here.
a purlin like this, which would run across the top of the trusses, would be about half the width of this timber. Because on modern houses, it's like, the roofs are like toothpicks.
Well,
On
that's
this,
good.
it's a big, chunky, robust building. And they're going for big, strong, heavy timbers. Get in there! These two up
Put a
here
nail
every
in,
day,
put it in place
doing
on the
most of this on their own. It's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
They're not stopping.
No, that's all right. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Wedged.
Over the next few weeks, Terry and Marilyn continue to work round the clock to push the build on as fast as they can. The priority is to get it watertight, so they start to glaze the windows.
I don't think I've got enough on, have I? It's not as easy as it looks. If I just get it there and then you can just tidy it up, will that be all right? Because I've done the hard work. I've got company.
Here's the beds.
There you go. You need all that up for me. Like that in your hands. Squeeze it, you know, like you do plasticine.
Are you using this wheelbarrow?
No, you can use the
Let's stick them in here then.
Visits from the grandchildren are a strong reminder of why they're building this home.
You're doing a superb job.
Oh, you're doing well there, Ryan. Well, I'll be wanting my lunch soon, so I'll probably finish this window off and then I'll set to and organise them some dinner.
With the build now well on its way, Marilyn and Terry can start thinking about their future life together in this breathtaking location.
What's the name of the catcher?
Eh?
What's the name?
Oyster catcher.
Hear him? I must be close because he's making a lot of noise.
Sat on those stones just up there, look.
I see. Oh, there's one over there as well, on the top there.
All right. So peaceful, isn't it? Just the birds. It's lovely.
The stream.
The stream babbling along.
They own over 2 acres of land surrounding the house, all of which needs landscaping, and the couple have big plans for all of it.
This paddock, how we're going to get that clear? I mean, all this grass.
I tell you what we'll do. We'll get a couple of pigs, put them in. That would sort it out.
I suppose it would. It would turn. But then what would do with the pigs when it was all turned over?
Well, you can eat them.
Oh, you can't do that. That's cruel. No.
Well.
No.
Well,
we'd need to get these walls built up first, though, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Otherwise, they'd be running riot.
I was letting them go down the bottom.
Well, no, because I would like that. Try and get that filled, a bit of a pond.
Oh, you want it as a pond?
Aye, I think it would be a good feature.
All right. Oh, well, some place for your ducks to go to, I guess.
Aye.
Oh,
But the grounds will have to wait till the basil is finished. The next mammoth job on Terry and Marilyn's list is retiling the new roof. Because it's a listed building, they have to use authentic stone, which means more back-breaking work.
This pile here are the stones that are quite light. I mean, they are still heavy, but they're lighter than the heavy ones, which we've put down here. They do look the same, but when you actually feel the weight, oh, I mean, I can barely lift that one. And the more that you lift, the worse it becomes.
With the help of Terry's son Robbie, they have to raise the tiles up to the roof, one by one.
I've been pulling that by myself. You lying tinker.
Once they're up, Terry and Marilyn carefully juggle them into position.
Fingers. Ooh, that hurt.
I know, hurt me as well because I jammed mine.
You just say that to make me feel better.
I don't.
They have to drill individual holes through each of the tiles before hammering them down into the battens beneath. The biggest pressure they face is getting the roof retiled before the bad weather sets in. And in this part of the world, that can happen at a moment's notice.
We had to come inside because it started to rain. It was quite heavy. It's a little bit dangerous because it does get slippy on the boards as well as on the metal of the scaffolding.
If only they could finish off the roof, the last of the heavy grind would be over. But with full-time jobs, they've only the weekend to do the bulk of the work.
If it rains Saturday and Sunday, it knocks you back a week because you only put a few hours at the night time in it before it gets dark or whatever, you know.
It's not just the weather that's getting them down. The damage left by the new trusses going in means they have to rebuild these walls for a second time.
It feels like an endless task. I feel like I've been doing this forever. It's just constant, you know, all of the time. It's just a battle.
Sometimes it's the smallest things that can tip you over the edge.
This has been a lot of hard, heavy work. Maybe at times I try and do things that really I shouldn't because I'm not capable, but Terry hasn't got anybody else, so... He likes to think I'm Superwoman, but I'm not.
You know, it was always my dream to do something like this. I didn't imagine that it would take as much as what it has. Come home from work, do a little bit for a few hours, and then you're working every weekend. It does take a toll a little bit.
With all they've been through, I'm not surprised Terry and Marilyn are running out of steam. But knowing this couple as I do, I can't believe they'll stay down for long.
When I first met Terry and Marilyn, I was amazed by their courage and vision to turn such a derelict ruin into a family home. Now, after they completed the main part of the house last year, they then set to work on the fantastic 600-year-old basel next door. Restoring this historic gem with their bare hands and the most primitive of tools was one of the most incredible challenges I've ever seen. I just hope Terry and Marilyn think it's all been worth it.
Over the last 3 years, Terry and Marilyn have successfully transformed what was literally a ruin into a stunning 4-bedroom house. They've lovingly restored the building's country cottage feel, but also put in modern-day luxuries like the ensuite bathrooms. Downstairs, they have a fantastic living room with plenty of old-world charm. But for Marilyn, the most important part of the project was creating a kitchen and dining room inside the 16th century basel.
That's great. You've got everybody here.
Yeah.
The whole family here. Hiya.
Well,
How you
most
doing?
of them.
This is what you'd always wanted, though, wasn't it? All the family around the table.
Seeing it like this now, you can see an end. I mean, there's still work to be done upstairs, and we've still got quite a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But at least we can see, you know, an end.
I know, but the dream for you was to have a fantastic kitchen in the basel, which was the best part of the building for you as well.
Yes.
And you always said all the family sitting around the table all together. It's great. And Terry, I can see pride of place.
Oh, of course.
The wine rack.
I had to be.
Look at all this.
Yeah, that was a special request, having actually a
Right
wine
at the top
rack.
of the list.
So,
Well, I'll tell you what, after all the work you've done, I think you deserve a drink, mate, after all that, because it's absolutely fantastic in here. You must be thrilled to bits.
we are. Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think of it then, girls? What do you reckon?
Looks dead posh.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's a lot better than it was.
Above the kitchen and what will eventually become a more formal dining room, Terry and Marilyn have painstakingly brought this historic building back to life. By using materials which complement the original features, means the basel's unique character will be preserved for generations to come.
Although it's the smallest window in the whole of the building, that is my favourite because
It's lovely, isn't
it's
it?
just got so much character to it.
It's like the old castles, really, in some ways. I mean, obviously it's a fortified farmhouse, but the fact that you've got the sort of very angular walls coming into the small window, so the small amount of light bounces out quite a lot. And you see the thickness of these walls. I mean, look at them, 2.5, 3 foot thick. Unbelievable. And you've rescued a piece of British heritage. In my book, that's worth everything.
Terry and Marilyn have undergone a massive life-changing experience and can now look forward to many years together in this remote and beautiful location.
We fell in love with the place, we fell in love with the area, the house. We didn't really see, I don't think, what it was that we were taking on, you know, and once we started, well...
No, it just didn't stop. We just had to keep on going.
You took this project on your own, but gradually the family have got involved, haven't they?
I thought it was brilliant, great. And I'll put their little bit into it and put their mark on it and all.
That's great, isn't
so
it?
they really, really enjoy it, like, you know what I mean?
I love the fact that it's really become a sort of a family building project. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, even the grandparents, you know, they come along and, you know, they're carrying the stones and they're sweeping the floor and everybody chips in.
It's a dream come true for you both, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing can compare with what we've got here.
Yeah.
I've absolutely loved watching Terry and Marilyn bring this building back to life. It's made me realise that no matter how difficult the conditions or how physically grinding the work, some people will stop at nothing to make their dreams come true. Terry and Marilyn are incredible. OK, they aren't there yet, but it doesn't matter. This is the project of a lifetime, and some dreams just take a little longer to build than others.
Next time,
My mum and dad are absolutely insane.
the Slater family attempt to rescue a derelict schoolhouse in Scotland.
So you've planned up till October, and no further than that?
No,
Why's that?
we run out of paper.
Wow.